Hi, my name is Chris Allen. I can't, but we can. I'm going to give my story today. Just going to get right into it. Throughout my life, there's been so many negative thoughts on who I am. You're not worth it. It's not worth it. Depression, anger, self confidence, pride. I don't deserve love, to name a small few. I was born in Bismarck, North Dakota, and moved to Grand Rapids, Minnesota when I was 2. I don't remember much of my mom, but her laying in bed all the time. She was dealing with cervical cancer. She would play G.I. Joes with me while laying in bed. She died from cancer when I was 4. Didn't realize how much this would affect me until later in life. Dealing with how I felt, she just gave up on us. At this time, I had an older brother, Ryan, and a younger sister, Tricia, that if anyone crossed her, they're going to deal with me. I'm going to jump ahead to 9 years old. My dad got remarried to a wicked woman. She wanted nothing but for me to be out of the house. At this point, I dealt with a lot of anger, seeking attention. So I started acting out at school and in town. Fighting, had my first drink at 9. I was liking the attention I was getting. Had my first girlfriend that I would share my craziness with, and she loved to hear it. She was a good girl. I loved the rush of fighting and drinking. We lived in Marble, Minnesota at this time. I had no problem staying out till dark, hanging out with the older crowd, showing off by doing keg stands and stupid stuff like jumping on cars from a garage. I'm 12 and there's 7 of us kids at this time. I have a stepsister, Amanda, and my dad and wicked stepmom had 2 sons, Tom and Paul, and a daughter, Dory. Now, say wicked stepma, because she would come in my room to spank me with the 16 rings it felt like turned around. I had so much hurt and anger this point in my life that I couldn't give her the satisfaction of me crying. She had sex with my dad's best man 2 days before the wedding. So many situations I could bring up. My dad is trying to keep me focused on the good in life. I was in wrestling and very good at it, winning tournaments. In football, there was a play named after me, the Allen Sweep. I hate being hit, so I won, an all-around Forrest Gump. My dad would bring us to church, and I turned into a believer at 13. I love the concept of I didn't have to live with all these feelings, and all I had to do was believe. At this point the test really came. At this point, the test really came. I went to school, and that same girlfriend I had in 4th grade was still with me. She came crying to me saying that the principal slapped her in the butt. I thought about it for a little bit. I was so angry and knew if I missed detention that he would call me to his office the next day. My dad had a .22 pistol that I brought to school, and when he called me to his office, I pulled it on him. It felt so good seeing how scared he was. I was yelling about what he did to my girlfriend. I tried to get him to admit it. Cops came in, and I went through lockups, group homes, foster homes. I came home after 3 years to my stepmom drinking all the time, doing drugs and having sex with whoever it felt like to me. I would tell my dad about what was going on, and he would not believe me. That hurt me so bad that I started fighting. Since 3rd grade, I was in a class called EBD for 2 hours a day. Emotional behavior disorder, it's called. I've never been real good at dealing with my emotions. I am 16 and came home from school to the back door open. When I went inside, I noticed things like my brother's and sister's clothes missing. So I called my dad, who was an over-the-road trucker, who would be home on the weekends. He said that he would call me back, and when he did, he said she met some guy online and moved to Oregon with my two younger brothers and sister. So it was just me and Trisha at the house. So what do you do when you're 16 with no parents? I was happy my stepmom was gone. My house was the party house. My best friend's dad was a meth cook, and I tried it for the first time. I fell in love with it, how it took my feelings and emotions and made them numb. Meth got me away from alcohol, which was getting me into a lot of trouble. It was a different lifestyle. Got rid of the parties and just had a few like-minded people over, taking things that worked apart and putting them back together. At this time, I needed to feed my addiction. So I was breaking into cabins. Doing this, I made the big leagues. I caught a couple charges, second-degree burg, and halfway through my senior year, I went to prison for 33 months. I came out of prison and got right back to it. Dope runs, taking care of things that happened when I was in that happened to family and friends. Went back in for fleeing in a motor vehicle for 15 months. I kept doing this in and out. DWIs, assaults, caught an assault case in prison, 62 months, 66 months, violation after violation. I got out of Stillwater in 2017 and was tired of this broken lifestyle. But I still didn't realize that I had to take care of my past and talk and walk through things until a few years later, when I caught 6 more charges and the court seen something in me that I didn't. They put me on a program that saved my life, drug court. The program is 14 months, and they will reduce your charges. I've been on it almost 3 years, but really didn't start trying until after 3 inpatients, 4 outpatients, and some therapy. I started making better choices. I started to see what they were seeing in me. I was coming up on 2 years clean from everything when 2 deaths hit my family. My 22-year-old nephew shot himself, and a week later my dad passed away. All this was unexpected, but it was a means for the enemy to slide in. I'm not ready to talk about this in front of everyone, but I will talk about is the day of my dad's funeral, December 11th. I woke up with a cough and took a swig of some cough syrup. I was going to sell a vehicle with someone and had them stop at the gas station so I can grab a bottle of cough syrup. I had this warm, good feeling going on. During the Zoom funeral, I'm drinking this cough syrup. I had a good buzz going. Me and my little brother go out for steaks and get a shot and another and another. I end up blacking out and in jail with 2 more charges. I went back to my place and got into a fight with my roommate. Cops came, I fought with them. I don't remember none of it. I'm in jail a week and drug court is right there. Got me out. I asked me what I needed to take care of, gave me the resources I needed, and I got back up. I started going to CR and NA. I went to NA for my drug addiction and to CR for my negative thoughts, addiction behavior, and building lasting relationships. I've totally changed my circle, way of thinking, and gave more of my life to God. so I don't have to deal with all the crap from my past. I got his help. I want everyone that is part of my recovery to stand up. Thank you. I love you guys. Now I want everybody in the room to stand up. Now you're a part of my recovery. Thank you.